Well, good afternoon, friends. Today I am making one of, for my lunch, I'm making one of my favorite things ever growing up. Um, it literally is so good. So you can probably see right here, yes, those are green tomatoes, not ripe green. They're just, it's not a ripe tomato is what it is. Because you can buy green tomatoes, that's just the color they are. But this is a tomato that is not ripe. And so, yes, we are going to make fried green tomatoes today. And I do it a little bit healthier. Growing up, how I learned how to do it, you dip it in the egg, which I have right there. So we are going to dip it in egg, but I'm not going to dip it in flour. And then you just cook it in either butter or coconut oil, or you could even use olive oil. It is delicious. So the other thing that I'm going to make, I have some onions. I'm just going to take them just like that. And I don't know if you can see it, my cute little cast iron pan over here. What I'm going to do is cook those in that pan and just kind of shove them all in there and move them around. And then I'm going to throw you can see them in my hands there, my beans from my garden. I'm just going to throw those in there with some of my fresh oregano from my garden as well. So I'm just going to throw the onions. Oh, and the key is man, to make vegetables like really good, almost any vegetables, especially like if you're cooking onions and mushrooms, you can add a little bit of red wine into it and the alcohol cooks down. Red wine vinegar you can even put in there, and it just makes the flavor so delicious. So I'm gonna start with my onions first, and then once they're almost done, I'll throw the beans in, and then I'll let those cook for a little bit longer, and then I'll add the red wine vinegar. So I'm just gonna get my onions in there first, and not a lot. I just did like 3, rounds and didn't separate them, and we'll just kind of get those all in the pan there. And they are going to be so good. I'm just gonna cut this other one in half so I can fit all of it in there. So I will sprinkle a little bit of salt and pepper on those as they're cooking. Put a little salt. This is the thicker kosher salt, which I love. So while that is doing its business, this over here is getting going. I'm gonna start dipping my green tomatoes just in the egg a little bit, let it drip, boom, put it on the pan. Fried green tomatoes, it's funny, there's actually a movie, Fried Green Tomatoes. It's one of my favorite movies ever. But growing up, man, these were, gosh, they're so good. My favorite to eat. You put a little bit of salt and pepper on them, even better. Dave is going to be upset because I'm making them now and he's at work. So maybe I'll have to save a couple for him. Yeah, so that's going to be my lunch, is the fried green tomatoes, the onions, and green beans, and maybe something else. I don't know at this point. So this is just kind of where I'm at right now. It's going to be so good. Just kind of move them around the pan so we can get them all on there at the same time. So I'm going to let those cook up, and I will see you guys in a moment. All right, friends, I am back. I'm sure you can hear the sizzling. I have to grab this so you can see it. The fried green tomatoes are done. I ended up taking, so I mixed in my green beans, onions, and then I actually just, can you see that? Look at that. This is my little tiny miniature pan too, but that's definitely a serving of veggies in there. Doesn't it look good? A little bit of salt and pepper. I cooked the onions first, then threw in my green beans from my garden, and then decided to throw in the tomatoes from my garden. So all I'm gonna do right now is just a little sprinkle of the red wine vinegar, I'm gonna throw in the oregano, and you literally can put whatever you want to in this. So the fried green tomatoes are for sure done. And I have to be honest, I did already try one and they are delicious. So they don't, typically if you use the flour, which you can use the flour, I just choose not to use the flour. They will be a little bit firmer, so, but man, they are delicious. I'm gonna grab a plate so you can see what this looks like. And I dumped the red wine vinegar into the veggies after I pulled it off because that pan is still really hot. So I'm gonna turn that off. Get some of these lovelies on here. Oh, they're so good. They smell so good, you guys. I'm gonna save some for the kids. Keegan wants to try it. It's just a different, of course it's a different flavor when you have fried green tomatoes. It's this, almost like this tangy tart, but not too bad. It's the best. If you have never had fried green tomatoes, if you have a garden, make sure you pick some of those tomatoes off of there just so you can make fried green tomatoes. Try it both ways. You dip it in the egg and then the flour, and then you fry them. You can use any kind of oil you want to, coconut, olive, butter. I typically use butter, not a lot. You don't even need a lot. When you have a well-seasoned pan, you don't need a lot of oil in these pans. That's why I love using them. So those are done. I'm just gonna push this off of here so it stops cooking. And that's gonna be, there it is. So you have all of the veggies minus the onion that is not from my garden. The tomatoes, the oregano, and the green beans are from my garden, and the fried green tomato. So let me just take a little taste for you. My mouth is literally watering right now. It's probably because of the vinegar that I put into the veggies over here. So, oh my gosh. Y'all, you have to try it if you've never tried fried green tomatoes. It's the best. So that was that. Now I'm gonna try the onions with the green beans, and pretty much all of those veggies, I don't know if you can see it, they're pretty nice and caramelized and delicious. The green beans are not super soft, but they're cooked perfectly. So, oh my gosh. It's so good. If you wanted to bring out different flavors in your vegetables, and honestly, really any vegetable, and you don't need a lot, like I said, you can use either red wine vinegar or even just red wine. Brings out different flavors when you're cooking. And so that is that for today. This is just a impromptu veggie mix right here. I just took what I had in my that I picked from my garden this morning and then mixed it all together, and that's how simple it is to cook. It doesn't have to be, you know, this long, laborious, although certain times of the year, to me it's not anyways, because I love cooking, you know, around the holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, parties. I love cooking pretty much all the time. So if you have a garden, whatever you have in your garden, just pick some stuff out of there and throw it together and make it, and know that it's gonna be delicious. So have a most wonderful day, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you check out my website, thejoyofcooking.org, and my YouTube channel. I'm trying to upload IGTV videos too. So they'll be in multiple places. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. And if there's something that you would like to see me cook, just throw me your ideas. So I love cooking. All right, have a great day, you guys. Bye.